Live.
Hello.
Hey everyone. The intro is always the hardest part.
It is. Somehow it's just like, oh, well, we've got to be exciting, right?
Yeah, and then there's like nobody here, and we're just like, oh,
Well, not nobody.
hello, empty room. Hello, Mike.
It's not nobody. Mola Molafant is here.
Hey.
Make it so. The crew is starting to file in.
Aw, thank you, crew. We really appreciate you being here from the start of every live stream.
Yes.
Makes a big difference in the morale.
It does. It really helps us feel like we're talking to somebody.
Yeah. And I'm not going to be waving at people because I'm doing the octopus today. So I'm here and I'm answering questions via Discord and I'm looking at you guys' questions. So ask away.
Yep. So we're probably gonna talk for a little bit.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Yeah. So we are talking about the operator system. And we'll have plenty of time to answer all of your questions, to show you some of the ways we've packed this stuff here. In case you didn't know, I'm Emma. I'm the marketing manager here at Volante Design.
And I'm David. I'm the designer. I came up with some of this, probably most of it.
You can brag a little bit more than that.
I came up with this. I designed this. I measured everything. I did all this creation work with a lot of contribution from the entire team.
Yes. And how big is our team here?
8 people?
Yes.
Including myself?
Including you. So, well, it's not that hard to get feedback from everybody because it's such a small number. It also means like running a Kickstarter is a pretty big deal for us.
Yeah.
This is our first one.
Yeah. I also wanted to say while we're here that Willow really wanted to be here. She was going to be part of this stream, but she just got her second Pfizer shot yesterday, and she's got Pfizer fever at the moment. So she's taking a rest, and I just want to say that without her, we would not be here. Without her, I would probably be a hermit designing one-offs in the mountains. You would never see any of my work, but here we are with this company and all you great people wearing our cool stuff.
Yeah, the path of life that has happened is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Of all the possibilities, from like Hermit David to like Megacorp, like head of a huge global corporation David, we're kind of like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Somewhere in the middle, closer to Megacorp though.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, yeah.
I mean, this is for all the people that think we're a Megacorp.
Yeah. We do try to run our business like it's a corp. You try and use the trappings of corporate entities as a way of keeping ourselves focused, but we also very much obviously try and keep our humanity as a big part of the appeal of our company.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I mean, we also did kind of design this bag system around the fact that you can fit the Nintendo Switch in multiple versions of it. So that kind of tells you what kind of people we are.
Yeah.
Because I've got a bunch of bags and they're either too big or too small to fit the Switch in. So I needed something new.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the theme of the whole operator system, right?
Right.
Is that none of us, especially I think you and Willow, but none of us had bags that worked or like they just weren't quite right. And this was kind of like the way to fix that problem.
There's a lot of cool backpacks out there, and they're sometimes big enough, and sometimes they're useful for sure. There's obviously we're not going to totally revolutionize the bag industry because people have been using bags for 10,000 years.
I mean, it would be nice if we could.
Yeah, but
you gotta aim high, David.
However, we wanted to
leave him alone.
Really functional in the way that we wanted to use it. And a modular system that doesn't look like a super utilitarian military pack.
Yep.
And that's got some style that fits with our stuff, that looks cool with all if you like what we do, then you probably want a style that a bag in a style like this because it fits the style that we already make.
Yeah. Right? Exactly. I mean, it's really just everything else that you already do in your designs, but distilled into bags instead of clothing. Has a lot of the same hallmarks.
Yeah, it was challenging to do that.
How challenging? Why don't you share your journey with them and your pain?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't. So I haven't. It's not that I've never designed a bag. My first job was working at a backpack factory, so I know how they're put together. I know some of the principles of how it functions. It's how I learned how to create the 3D shapes that we make for like our hoods and stuff like that. Like, was from bag pattern making. It's just a bag for your head with an opening in the front. But the way that we produce things and the way that we cut things up and all that stuff, it's applicable, but it's a very different thing.
Yep.
And bags use up so much less fabric than jackets do.
Well, especially your jackets.
Right.
You who does like 6 yards worth of fabric in one jacket.
Yeah. Well, but
And how many yards of thread we now know?
oh yeah, we were doing the math on that. Oh, actually, no, we only did the math for the bag.
Oh.
Yeah.
The bag uses, I think, a full stack system uses 120 yards of thread.
So if a jacket is what, 6 times as big
Yeah.
in terms of the amount of sewing?
Now we've talked about it a couple of times. Talking about it on Discord. Now we're talking about it again. I'm gonna have to go measure all the seams on one of our jackets and figure out how
We
much
like
thread
data and spreadsheets.
Yeah, we love that.
I like
stuff.
finding out that stuff. So I'll go do that. Stay tuned. I'll be back in 10 minutes. And no, I'm not.
Yeah, just hang out,
Don't leave
everybody.
me here alone.
Just everybody, just chill for a second while we go count threads.
Yeah.
And so correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like we first started talking about this because you and Willow wanted the perfect convention bag.
Yeah. I mean, I have a couple of bags that I've used at conventions, and that was definitely sort of it was one of the checks that we used as we went through the entire design process. It's like, well, would this be good for a convention? Does this have everything I need when I go to con?
Yep.
It was like every time we added something or every time we thought about whether or not something was worth it or the pocket was big enough or something like that, it was always like, what do I want to use when I need like everything that I need for a single day at a convention?
Yeah. And for anybody watching that is here just for the Kickstarter, that you don't normally know who we are or follow us, welcome. We previously to the pandemic spent a lot of our time vending at conventions. So that was a pretty big part of all of our lives. A lot of schlepping gear around the country. Mike can attest to this personally from behind the camera.
Oh yeah.
And just needing pieces that would work in that scenario as you're traveling, work with all the stuff, because obviously we're wearing our coats in the booth.
Yeah.
So
That wouldn't be too cumbersome.
Yep.
That would be sort of attached to you in a way that isn't going to slide around when you're using it. When you're moving stuff around or when you're getting a jacket off the thing, you don't want your bag to get in the way.
yeah.
So that was, a lot of that stuff was sort of part of the process here.
Which is the biggest problem I find as a woman with like the traditional like crossbody bag or even just like a shoulder bag, because like as soon as you move, then the bag like swings around and like hits the person that's in front of you or behind you. This is pre 6 feet of space, obviously.
Yeah.
And then even the one on the shoulder, I mean, basically this arm that it's on is useless. You have to kind of hold it in place or it just falls off constantly.
Right. So we tried to come up with a way of being able to take the bag that you like and wear it in a bunch of different ways and have these different pieces that you could use sort of interchangeably and function in a way that, I don't know, that meets your needs when you need it.
Yeah.
Well, enough of the sales talk. Let's start looking at them. Let's start looking at these bags. What is the kit comprised of?
I mean, this is kind of, I think that this is how everything started.
Yep.
And this is kind of like, I think the use case that you were just talking about. Do you want to talk a little about the pivot bag? Because I
Sure.
know that's the one you designed first.
Yeah, the original code name for it was the core, because it was the thing. It was where I started in terms of design, partly because it's small and I knew it needed to have like only the essentials.
Yep.
And I knew that it would function both as a small backpack and also as the hip bag form that it has.
Yep.
So that's where I started. And I think that generally it has a phone pocket that's on the exterior. That's approximately that, just big enough.
You can start,
Yeah.
dive in.
Mike and I have packed these full of things that David doesn't know about.
Random
so.
surprises and things.
Yep, you're just going to discover.
And I have
random
other things too. If
I
you want to
wasn't
put,
here for setup, but
No.
yeah, you got wallets and things if you want to show what fits.
when I travel, especially if I'm traveling abroad, I'll want an accessible pocket for my passport. So this actually is designed to be large enough for a passport.
Look at this.
And this
It's
zipper-
high school baby Emma's passport. Wow.
Oh.
What a glow up. But this is actually like a pretty big pocket. You could fit this notebook in there, right?
Maybe.
You can fit a tablet in there. We tried that.
And like tickets, airplane tickets and
Yep.
stuff will fit too.
Yeah, see, you can really do you can put more in this back pocket than you think.
Right.
It really just depends what's comfortable against your body.
Yeah, something that is, the idea is a zipper pocket that is against your body that has the thing that you need but isn't accessible if somebody were to
Stealth
come
mode.
in and try and take it from you.
Yes.
Take that one out.
Yeah, I really like that one. There was a company that we used to use that had a bag similar in there. That pocket, that internal pocket, like keeping stuff close to your leg was really nice. Something that like nobody could slip into in a crowd was really
Right.
good.
Exactly.
Right. And the ones that I've seen besides this design, the ones that I've seen, the zipper is usually maybe that long, 7 inches or so. And so I wanted to do the full length so you could put an entire notebook in it.
We embiggened it.
We embiggened it.
And then made up a word.
I didn't make up the word. It already existed.
Somebody made that word up
Yep.
though. And so then we have the main pocket has this zipper that comes across to the side like this so that you can open it up completely. You don't have to, obviously. You can just reach in the top if you need to. Yep.
What is it? Oh, look, it's a switch light.
It also fits a
Whole
standard
switch
size.
in its case.
Yeah.
We will show you in a second. This does fit in this bag. Let's get a book, sketchbook.
Yep. And the sketchbook I like, there's a back pocket that is most of the size of the bag. That is something that I can put, my whole sketchbook in, which I always do spine down. It was not put in spine down. That's all
I'm
right.
sorry. Oh, God, I messed up. I'm going to get fired.
I love that, which I always do. Spine down.
Man, if I ever wanted to pretend to be you, you're not successful. You're very particular.
Well, if you put the sketchbook opening down, then you run the risk of bending up the corners
makes
as you
so
go
much
down.
sense.
And then when you put the bag down, you're also putting a lot of force on the corners of the pages.
Yes.
You have to, that's me.
Go on, no.
Very
Sing it.
specific.
Sing it. I think you're talking to your people there.
Yeah.
Here.
And
They're
then
liking
also
they're liking the room for the sketchbook so far. So.
a smaller pocket here for a wallet that doesn't go all the way down to the bottom. It
So
just
that would be perfect if you didn't unzip it all the way. You just wanted to swoop,
grab your
reach
wallet
in and
from
grab
the
your
top.
wallet. And if you haven't seen it yet, we do have a video showing all of the pockets. It's on our YouTube and Facebook, and it has some camera close-ups. So in case this quality isn't good enough for you, or you just really like details, you can also watch that after the live.
Yes.
Entire switch case
Ta-da!
with charger and everything. Obviously not with the dock.
Oh, and David, Squilliam says 100% agree. Spine down always.
Sorry, Squilliam!
All caps, always.
I'm a fraud.
You're a photographer. How are you supposed to know what
Yeah,
to do with a
totally.
sketchbook?
I don't use a sketchbook.
So the other thing that I think is sort of key to the whole thing is this buckle. This is a swivel buckle, so it has, when it attaches, you can turn it like that.
Yep.
That way,
I don't know. Is this better? Is this a good shot?
does it work?
Camera maestro?
Yeah, we can bring it up. So we're trying to show off that it swivels, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So we can bring this in here, and you can see it swivels so that, well, David can explain why.
Yeah, the goal was something that all right, get out of there.
No, it's good to have the background audio.
The goal was basically whatever you attach to this buckle, as you move, it's going to move just enough with you to be flexible.
Yep.
And if you attach it to the backpack like so, you can adjust it this way, and you can tighten it up and have it be almost horizontal and have it still. It depends on how you want to wear it, so you can adjust it and have that.
Yep. So you really it's really easy too. You just push the button down and you can pull it out.
Yeah.
And then, so this is like maybe in one bag, you're ready to switch out for a different one. You want to use the pivot. Boom. That's it.
That's it.
That's
Now you
it.
got a different bag.
Now you got a different bag. So what's really great is if you're like traveling or just in general, if you use different bags for different uses, you don't have to unpack and repack every time you're moving to a different bag. All you have to do is separate it from either the strap, which is what you just saw, or the harness, the frame, and then just switch out the bag.
Like that.
Yep.
other way of wearing the same thing.
Yep.
We can show that off too.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was the pivot. What else? Was there anything else that we missed on the pivot?
That's the primary.
So
There is
it's
this
got-
side pocket.
Oh, wow.
Which you can use for pens or lighter.
Small
or
flashlight or
small
something.
flashlight.
Something small and skinny.
Yeah.
A can of mace.
I put my keys in there the other day. I thought that was pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
shove the whole thing in there.
Yep.
So
I didn't
you
even
know,
notice that.
just a small, easy access, not particularly secure, but that's because we want it to just be quick, easy.
So if you want something smaller, or alternately, you can use this as kind of like a bag within a bag of any of the bags. This is the cash bag.
Yeah.
And because we're nerds, how did we spell it?
It's CACHE.
Cash.
Yes.
It's the cash.
It's for your cash, and it's also a cache.
Yep. So, why don't you talk a little about that and open it up and see what Mike and I put inside.
The primary goal with the cash bag was the most simple version that still looked like everything else. It fits with the stuff. It's just a nice small bag that is pretty simple and just has 2 pockets. We're gonna find out there's nothing in that one. That's all right. So a smaller pocket, and then another zipper for the main body of the thing, which has a ninja star. Another ninja star.
Yeah.
This is when you need to go on a stealth mission and you only need the smallest bag possible. A mask, our Minpo mask, that way you can hide your face as you're doing ninja-y things.
Or cover your face as you're not spreading COVID.
That too.
Yeah, so wallet, phone, mask, ninja stars, that's what this is for, really.
Yeah, exactly. Small things. And what's great is just because it's kind of the most basic, smallest piece, you can wear it by itself, either as a belt or as a crossbody bag, or you can attach it to the other bags. We're gonna get into that in a little bit, but you can layer them up.
Yeah.
So that's when it really gets funky and fun.
They have this, it has this sort of double sleeve here on the back so that you can run the buckle through it.
Or really, probably any belt.
Right, you can
Yep.
run any belt through it. It's, I think, 1 3/4 sleeves, so 1 3/4 inch. So you have just enough to put an actual belt through it.
Yep, as long as the buckle is small enough.
Right.
But then yes, so you could technically attach this to a belt you already have. You don't have to necessarily attach it to our strap.
Right. That's it. Maybe I should
Cool. So
put
that's
this back up again.
the cash bag. Yep. You got all your equipment, your tools,
Your ninja tools.
and things. So I can answer this question. How's the weather like rain? And how is it in the weather like rain? We'll get to that stuff. So we will have a big long answer session at the end of this.
Yes.
Yep. We just wanted to go over some basic bits for anybody that hasn't even seen the whole system, or just,
Yeah.
maybe we'll answer some of your questions, or you'll think of new
As we do it.
questions.
I mean, okay, well that one is a pretty good question that could be answered at any time. All the materials are water resistant. The zipper is water resistant. I wanted to make sure, obviously, that if you're going to be carrying your stuff around, it should be protected from the weather as you walk around. So it's all there. The lining is water resistant. Every material we use is designed for that.
Yep. And all of the seams on the inside are bound, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. Which is just a fancy way of saying that we covered them up with an additional strip of fabric so that they have another layer of protection.
Can we show that easily? It's all right.
It's black on black, but
Yeah.
we'll try.
We're gonna try.
The point is the
Yes.
interior seams are finished.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can see
Bound.
this sort of finished bound edge.
So that's that turned over edge. Sweet.
So most of the seams are sewn 2 or 3 times. So there's lots of nice durability features to it,
Yep.
which is also part of our design and construction language across all of our products.
Yeah, just in general.
And it's just applied to this same thing. What's next?
Well, I don't know.
We
You
talk
said-
about the stealth bags. I think those are kind of like the next bag we should mention.
Yep. The stealth bags are a bag that sits on the side of your body. That sounds like it's full
Yep.
of dice.
Yes, it is full of dice. Here, I can hold this in Vanna White while you talk about it. So the stealth bags, do you get 1 or do you get 2?
The stealth bags come as a pair.
Great.
So
That way you're not lopsided.
exactly. they're a simple bag. We have a stealth kit. If anyone has been following us, we have another product that is sort of the simplified version of this, and we'll go over the differences later. But the idea is that this bag just hangs under your arm here on the side, and it's easy access for a phone or a wallet.
Demo.
So if you don't want to have your phone in your pocket because you're going to be sitting up,
So
or
I would shorten these because I'm a little shorty.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then
You gonna do a
boom.
little turn and show the bag? Yeah, see? Cool.
So this is a 3-bag setup because this is the stealth bag.
with the
And
pivot
then
on the
a
back.
pivot on the back because it also does that. And then what's one of the biggest changes that you made from the original stealth bags and stealth kit to this?
So the biggest change is that the original stealth kit has a much longer, what do you call it, flap, comes all the way down to the bottom. I just made it a little bit easier to access by shortening it without
Here.
compromising.
This one is nice and bright.
There we go.
Ah, beautiful.
So it's about half the length, but it still covers the entire hole. And I also moved the snap to one side. So when you get a pair, you get them opposite of each
They're
other.
directional. The snap goes towards the front of your body so you know what side to clip it onto.
And that way also when you have it there, you don't have to reach towards the middle or the back, you just have to reach towards the front, get the snap, and you're good to go. And we also added this easy access pocket on the back, which wasn't part of the original stealth.
Yep, so again, you know, something that's like kind of up and close next to your body. You could like stash something small there, some cash, a card, business cards,
An ID.
whatever you want.
Yep. What else did I do? I did make them just slightly larger, and I added a slight pleat to the top so that they don't
Have gaps.
have a gap on the side here. This is access into the side. It wasn't really a problem, but it was a non-problem that I wanted to solve. So it is that.
So let's take the pivot bag off of this for a second.
Yeah.
Because I know people wanted to I have a lot of questions about how this all differs from the stealth kit. If you want to talk about that a little
Sure.
bit more.
Yeah, and while you're thinking about things to talk about, someone did have a question about the fabric being used, the old stealth bag versus the new one.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same? Is it different? You know what? It sounds like they might have the stealth kit, and I think they're trying to compare it. The
So-
bag to that.
So the whole operator system is all nylons, and they're all water-resistant nylon. This original stealth kit was not. It was mostly cotton with some nylon accents. That's the main difference in the materials. We wanted, that cotton wasn't water-resistant, so we decided to go for a whole thing. The other thing is that the stealth kit is a much lighter weight version of this. So it's actually
That's the front
Yeah.
angle.
and then it's actually a lot thinner
Yep.
than the operator system, partly because the operator system has 1/4-inch foam inside the
Yep.
frame.
Foam and then this nice kind of meshy.
Yeah, that's
Back material.
spacer mesh or 3D mesh.
Yeah, there's blue hairs on everything now.
Yeah.
Sorry. These aren't the ones you guys are gonna get. Don't worry.
There is a very thin piece of foam in the original stealth kit, but we went for a 1/4-inch because we knew that it might be needing to support the weight of an entire backpack.
Yep.
So it is sort of a heavier, a brute version of this.
Yeah, and it also is a fully solid back. It doesn't have the kind of cutout and the elastic
Right.
strap that the original one does.
Right, because we needed the foam to go all the way across in case you had extra weight on your backpack,
Yep.
and you wanted to sort of protect your shoulder blades and the.
It's just for comfort.
Just for comfort.
And it's got some cool design features. Like I really like the double line of the stitching on the inside. It really pops, especially here, even though probably you're the only person seeing it. And there's like little details on top of the shoulders,
Right.
and then these straps.
We added the attachment points. That swivel buckle is on there. That's not on the stealth kit because we didn't design these bags, or we didn't design this 2 years ago with this in mind.
Yeah.
From the last couple of months.
Your design process evolved,
Yeah.
like always.
Yeah. What else? And then these attachment straps, which from here I think in the next iteration, the final iteration, we're actually going to tack these down a couple of times so that you can attach things that don't slide up and down. So you'll have little.
Carabiner loops almost.
Yeah. And then it does also, you can also then use an optional chest strap
Mhm.
if you want to kind of loop around here if you like to have that extra security.
Yeah, especially when you have the weight of the backpack on. You want to
Yep.
distribute the weight better.
Yes. Buckle down.
Clink.
All right, and then
All right, so that was the frame
That
yep.
was the frame
And
and,
the
the stealth bags.
stealth bags.
All right, let's talk about the big boy,
Okay.
The whole kit and caboodle.
big mama jama.
This is the operator bag. It's obviously the centerpiece of the whole thing. It was designed to function in the way you would expect a backpack to function, while also working within the system and being able to attach the other pieces of the system to it.
And it looks really cool.
And it looks
It looks really cool. Yeah. So, we got a water bottle holder on the side for your PlayStation Experience Vintage 2014 water bottle.
original water bottle.
That's how you know
Original,
we're legit.
the
One of
first
us went to
PSX.
PlayStation Experience.
That was me.
Okay, David
I
went
was
to
so
PlayStation
excited.
Experience.
That's so cool. The piece of history.
And
Nobody gets
then-
that. We're keeping
That's
that.
mine. You can't have it.
All right, so then how do we open it up?
Well, we've got the magnetic buckle.
Oh, so you just pull the tab.
Pull the tab, open it up,
Ooh, well that's slick.
and it has that nice click
It
sound.
does have this click. So, and this has got a lot of stuff in it.
So it has a zipper that you can use to open up and get easy access to everything in the bag, and not have to just have the hole
Yep.
at the top.
So there's a
great.
couple small pockets on the front. You got some pen pockets. You got kind of like a smallish pocket, a medium pocket, and then a zipper pocket to hold things.
Some varying levels
You
of
can
security.
put a laptop in the back pocket here. And then there is, I basically filled this with clothes and then put a pair of shoes in the bottom. So you can fit quite a lot and stuff.
The ninja shirt.
A pair of,
A pair of
Secco
Secco
pants,
pants. So you
a
get the
men's dress shirt, and then way at the bottom, a pair of, what size are these?
9. Yep. Some nice Cole Haans.
nice.
A pair of men's shoes, no issues. They like, I didn't have to put them vertical. They just fit.
All that was in that bag.
All that was in that bag. Yeah,
And a laptop that's still in there
pretty generous. Yeah, and this is like a big old chunky one that Mike had.
from history, from antiquity.
A beast.
Don't make fun of that thing. It's an elder. You respect your elders.
So somebody asked about the way that the padding on the laptop bag, and I'm just remembering that, so I'll answer that. There's a sleeve. The sleeve for the laptop is not padded on the interior, but the back of the bag has that 1/4-inch foam and the spacer mesh, so that's all there.
And maybe we should take off or at least detach the top part of the frame so they can see the really nice kind of diagonal seam work.
If you tip it a little bit, maybe
Which way?
just turn it at all at an angle.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Let's
Yep.
see the lines. Oops. Let me just bump the camera real quick and make it easier for everybody to see.
Yeah, of course.
So the quilting on here, that's true of all backpacks. When there's quilting through the foam, it's actually designed to give it a little bit more flexibility because these are joints in the foam,
Ah, the more you know.
and B, for ventilation against your back, so that you have that divot in that is designed to allow air to sort of get away from your back. It doesn't work that great, but if it wasn't there, it would work a lot less well.
A lot less better.
A lot less good.
Man, I thought that was just like a cool design for looks, so
Yeah,
I had no idea. That's
that's what
awesome.
that's for.
And then, so this already, the frame attached to it, so this is like ready to be used in backpack mode, but I'm confused. If this clips to the frame, what are these clippies up here for?
You're not confused.
I'm playing the role of an audience member for you.
We're doing some theater here, David. Come on.
I know. So these buckles allow you to snap the pivot bag onto the exterior of the backpack. So you have that and also these. And that way you can, sort of have your to-go needs attached to your bag, and you don't have to put them in the bag if you've got extra stuff that you need, and then you can just take it off and take that with you.
Grab and go.
And then, so this does, it hangs freely here, unless
You don't want it to.
you don't want it to.
So these straps at the bottom, you can either attach a cash bag down there, or you can do what David's doing and put one through a strap like catcher on the underside of this, and then it's all nice and snug.
And then that's nice, and then you still got this bottom one you can attach.
That
the cash
too.
as needed.
And then someone has to really work to get into the main flap of the operator bag.
Yep.
Well, yeah, if you have that, then you can do that.
Oh, I meant like a bad person.
A bad person. A bad guy.
A bad guy.
A casual sneak thief.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah.
You do still have access.
And that's the thing. I feel like, so this is just so simple, but if somebody's never seen this before, are they going to be able to figure out
How
how to
get
do
in.
that, how to get in?
Yeah.
How to get
Probably
into-
not fast enough.
Probably
Yeah.
not fast enough.
I mean, that's not what we designed it for. We are probably very good-natured and optimistic people. We weren't thinking about like thievery detection or anything.
Sneak thieves.
But it's kind of a cool side effect.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a consideration, but not in the original. It wasn't the goal initially,
Yeah.
but it did come into consideration as we were coming up with ways to attach it. It's like, well, it will cover the flap, but I don't see that as a drawback. I see that as a positive.
Yeah, for sure.
Added
So is that it for that? Can't be it for that bag. That big bag has more pockets than that. We didn't talk about that outer flap has a pocket on it
Oh, that's a
too.
good point.
Yes.
Because we haven't, because the idea here, I think folks are starting to see that this whole thing can be combined into one monster bag.
Into one monster
Yes.
bag.
Yep. Yeah. So there's also, as Mike pointed out, this nice outer access pocket. Anything you want to quickly get at, you could put, your phone, maybe like a charger cable or something
Right.
while you're traveling. Really, whatever you want to be able to quickly get at without having to open it up.
Right.
Right on.
Wow.
So, was that all the pieces? So let's do a recap.
All right. You have smallest bag is the cash bag, and then
The pivot
Pivot
bag,
bag.
one step up. That also, we didn't talk about this, but it has a leg strap that comes with it. This is part of it that you can run through. That works sort of as part of attaching it to the frame, and also if you take it out, you attach it to these rings on the side, and then this will go around your leg when you are wearing it as a hip bag.
Yep, so you have this part, this goes around your waist, and then that kind of keeps it anchored to your thigh, but you can also use that to kind of like, with a bunch of other configurations to keep it steady across your back.
Lots of bits and straps.
There's lots of bits. I mean, we've been saying that there's over 11 different ways to wear it, but depending on how specific and specialized you want to get, and also how crazy you want to get, there's a lot more.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
So now we have the pieces. Do we want to kind of maybe explain some? We had some questions about the tiers. Do we want to quickly run down what folks are going to get?
Oh, right. So we
Or
are
like-
doing this because we're doing this walkthrough here because we're running a Kickstarter.
Yeah,
Yes, we would like you to buy this bag system, please.
we are launching our Kickstarter on the 27th of this month.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing.
If you are signed up for the Kickstarter email list, you will get a email as soon as it goes live. If you are not, then you should remember to mark your calendars for Tuesday, April 27th, which is like a week and a half away. And it's going to launch at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, why would you want to be on time for a Kickstarter?
Wow. To be the coolest?
So
to be
like
to be one of the first?
To be the
That's
coolest.
true. To be the
Right.
coolest.
To be
the
the
first
coolest.
kid on your block with a cool new backpack. That's the
Exactly.
first reason.
That's your
Just
first
to be
reason.
cool.
That's one reason.
You want to be on the bleeding edge.
Yeah.
Another reason is that, we'll get into this shortly, we have a couple of tiers that are special pricing for the first 24 hours only.
Yes.
And then we have other tiers that are limited quantity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So depending on what's catching your eye and what you think you might want, trying to get in on day one is pretty much the best way to go.
Right. That's so we've obviously we've got an early bird special. That'll be a great deal, and then we have some limited tiers that you just said that, so I don't need to say it again.
It's okay.
It's
You're
okay.
You're
You-
reiterating.
You can't
It's
say it
great.
enough. You
Exactly.
can't say it enough.
So, We have 2 tiers that are less than the full system. In case the full system does not interest you, you can get the minimalist set, which is a cash bag
With the strap.
with the strap. So this way you can wear it as a belt bag, or you can wear it as a crossbody bag. Super minimalist. This is going to be $50 throughout the campaign. So it's just one price, but it's limited quantity. So if this one sparks your interest, keep that in mind.
The coolest fanny pack you've ever seen.
Exactly. The coolest fanny pack you've ever seen. As I told David, I just ordered my first pair of roller skates, and I think that this one is going to be perfect for when I'm roller skating, because all I really need is, like, you know, my keys and my phone.
Right.
So I will just look so slammin'.
And your insurance card.
And my insurance card. Oh, I'm going to be wearing safety gear. I bought a very cool helmet, Michael.
Ooh, I'm in trouble.
The other tier that's going to be only 2 pieces is the pivot bag and the strap. And this is the agile set. So if you just want to have a crossbody bag, or if you like the thigh bag configuration, then this is the one for you. And it's going to be $95 throughout the whole campaign. But the quantity on that one is also going to be limited.
Cool.
But I think the reward that people are most excited about is what we've been calling the full stack,
Right.
Yes.
which is the whole system. So it's all 6 pieces. This is the one that we have an early bird special on. It's going to be 50% off for the first 24 hours, which is $199.
That's a huge
That's a huge deal.
deal.
Yeah.
Yes,
To answer folks' next question, can they do more than one on that first day?
they can. If you want to get the full stack times 2, which is obviously 2 full stacks, that also has an early bird 24-hour price, and that one is $395.
And if you get 2 full stacks, you can get them in different colors.
Exactly. So color choice gets finalized after the campaign is over, so you can back it right away, even if you're not sure what color you want, and then choose it at the end.
Yeah.
So there's really no pressure there, no stress there.
And the colors at launch?
One second.
She's got it.
I get just to finish.
We'll get there.
So
One thing at a time.
the thing to remember, a lot of people have been asking if there's limits on the early bird specials, and there's not any quantity limits for the first 24 hours. So if you want the $199 deal for 1, or if you want the 2 for $395, we're not limiting quantity. But after that, so day 2 and onwards, the price goes up a little bit each day, and then there will be quantity limits. So that's kind of, again, why we say get in
Right.
on day 1. It's just kind of like the easiest way to make sure that you get what you want, best price. You don't have to worry about somebody snagging it out from under you.
Right.
And if none of these colors do it for you, and you dream of a bag system that looks like this, then we're putting up a very limited number of slots for a custom stack, which would be the full system in the colors of your choosing, for $850.
It's a lot of work for us to make one of these, especially by itself.
Yeah.
Um,
And then to source the
and
fabric.
sourcing material for you and stuff.
Yeah.
It's twice the retail price, right?
It is.
Just over twice the retail price.
Yep.
And we'll be cutting one out and making it just for you.
Yes. So if you want to know that Coco has held your hand through picking out colors, if you really want Emily and Key to be the ones sewing your bags, if you want David
To sign it.
to glance at it admiringly as it goes out the door, then that's why you would want the custom stack.
Yeah.
But we think that the 4 colors we picked are pretty dope.
Yeah.
And hopefully one of those will work just for you, and you can get it at a much cheaper price.
Yeah. We did, yeah, I mean, we hummed and hawed about our what color options we should offer at the get-go.
Yep.
And we've had a lot of these are new, sort of new colorways for us. We haven't done them much before, and they've really taken us through 2020 in a way.
They're kind of like the colors of the year, or
Yeah.
the past year at least.
Yeah. So they are the Trace Blue, which is this.
So Trace Blue and Blackout are going to be the 2 colors available on launch day. The other
Yeah.
2 colors will be unlockable stretch goals, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
But these 2 are going to be the ones that are definitely available as long as the campaign gets funded.
Yeah. We thought one super understated colorway, or at least stealth colorway, and one that's a little bit more flashy.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this one. I'm obviously a big fan of Blackout because Blackout's very cool.
We also all wear a lot of black clothing.
Yeah. If you've ever seen me before, you know that I like Blackout. But the Trace Blue, when we put this all together with the white print on the zipper and all this, just that pop is so good.
Yes. And I think this is totally a side note trivia question, but I just want to give a shout out to a customer of ours whose name is Ian W., who ordered 2 custom vests from us a couple years ago and turned us on to this hex print ripstop.
And we haven't had a place to really incorporate it into anything since then.
But we thought it was super badass. And I was just kind of like percolating around, like as David's thinking about the operator system and thinking of all the cool stuff, cool fabric, cool tech he's seen. It just kind of came together.
So what we're talking about is this really neat. You guys can keep chatting. But
yeah. Well, yeah.
That really cool hex print.
So it's funny because I think people assume that Trace Blue is going to be the color I would choose because of my hair. But I would actually go with Shakudo because my car is yellow. I really like yellow and orange. So Shakudo and Dark Side are both stretch goal colorways.
Yeah, the Dark Side was that black with red stitching, and when I was putting them together and I was looking at the all the different options trying to come up with our like final colorway, when I put the white print zipper next to the black with red stitching, I was like, that's it.
Yep.
That's the stuff.
And I don't know if you can tell, but Blackout and Shakudo also have the same print on the zipper. It's just shiny black on matte black, so it's super subtle. I don't know if you want to take this up.
Well, this is a great. Actually, someone was earlier asking about the word volante on the pictures that they saw, and they said that's just something you guys added in a Photoshop, right? That's not in the production run.
That's real, man.
That's the stuff.
I wish I was that good in Photoshop.
So how did this happen? Was this just like we just hired somebody to make that for us? What did you do? Is that
Well,
our
it's a custom zipper for us.
Sweet.
Because we wanted a waterproof, water-resistant zipper.
Yeah.
So we already had to get a super fancy zipper that we've never had before.
Yeah, and to get this zipper, we needed we asked if they could do print. We saw some various prints and asked if we could do a custom design, and they were able to accommodate our desires. I designed this volante. The idea behind it obviously is that or not obviously, maybe I say obviously.
Yeah.
Obvious in your brain, but
obvious for me.
let's share with the class.
Is that as you are sort of closing the zipper, you have this sort of forward arrow.
So it's like zhunk.
Yeah, so it is this sort of progressive design in my mind.
Well, also I know that you and Will really love race cars.
Yeah.
So I definitely get a total like race car motocross vibe a little bit from the zippers and kind of like the angled,
This sort
striped
of fast
lines.
looking.
Yeah, totally. I think it's a really cool touch that just like I don't know, harkens to a lot about the two of yours taste, and not so much what we've done before because we've never done a printed zipper, so it's new territory.
Yeah, this is sort of a new logo for us, and kind of different font, and those arrows are a new thing, but they are arrows are also V's.
Yeah, exactly. They're just V's turned sideways. Hey, big pictures.
Yeah, it's a real think tank over here. I tell you what.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
The other thing is like, in order to have these custom zippers, we need sort of volume. We need to order volume.
Yeah.
And we're not able to do that for our jackets because you only make maybe at most 100 at a time of one thing, and then the next design has a different length zipper because I never do things the same way twice.
You mean you never do things the easy way?
Yeah. But because we knew all these bags were going to need zippers, and there's a lot of zipper all over it, and they could all have the same type of zipper, and we could have these custom length by having a continuous print on a tape.
Yeah. And also we're hoping that the Kickstarter does
Really
well, and we will need a lot of zipper, more than
Yeah.
we've ever needed before.
Yeah.
This is not a question, it's a comment that I think you'll appreciate, David. Nexvonic pointed out that it's sonic speed track arrows. It makes the zipper faster.
It makes the zipper faster. That's exactly what it is. It's that F0 boost panel.
Yeah.
Patented Volante zipper technology.
Awesome.
Super cool. We are getting, so as we've been going through this, we've sourced all sorts of new materials and hardware and all this kind of stuff. It's been a lot of fun and also very challenging to find hardware that we've never used before, because I had an idea of a function in my mind and don't know what hardware is available. So
Yeah, like you didn't know what to call it.
I didn't
You
know
just
what
knew
to call
you
it.
wanted it to do.
you just Google like ring that also is adjustable and that also it does this other thing, or hook that is G-shaped that has adjusters on it. Like, they exist. I've seen them before, but finding out what their names were and stuff, that was all new.
Yeah.
We have new, like the zipper pulls on these samples are sort of stand-in zipper pulls. We're working on new designs. We have some other stuff coming in that will be a little bit more flexible and also a little bit more representative of the design.
Yep.
Probably something that you might not notice if you weren't looking for it, but it will be significantly better than the original incarnation.
Always significantly better. That's
The
kind of
amount
the goal, right?
Yeah, the amount of iterations that we've gone through, small things, small changes that have gone through in the production of this, it's really different than it first was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have the original?
Did we bring it?
Yeah.
This
Ooh.
is the original operator bag.
The-
The first prototype. This is material that we had on hand that we haven't used for anything before we came up with our color schemes. It's actually quite a bit longer.
Yeah, I didn't. You said that, but now seeing it, I can. And
It's like taller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the back is like a lot. It just seems very stiffer and.
Very flat.
Yeah. No. The seaming doesn't work as nicely as it does in this final one, where like the edge is really, like it's not so. It's more unobtrusive, whereas this was like really hard-edged kind of experiment.
Yeah. Well, this, this is before I wanted to do this because I wanted it to match the pivot bag, which is more rounded. And this original version was just a flat, easy way to do it. And I wasn't sure how to transition to the flat flap from the rounded edge.
Yep.
But I figured that out, and now that looks more like the rest of the bags.
Yep. Here, let's take this off so we can kind of compare naked to naked.
Whoa.
But a lot of the basic structure is still there. These buckles on the side
Yeah.
allow you to attach things. The fact that the buckles are, akimbo, lefty-righty.
Mm-hmm.
One on one side, one on the other, so you don't have too much, so the balance is there. Visual balance is there,
Yep.
even though it's asymmetrical.
Is the flap the same shape or slightly different?
Basically the same shape.
Yeah. But when you see them side by side, you can see how the dimensions are.
It's significantly taller. When I first put this on, it was like on my butt, no matter how high I pulled it up, and I was
Like-
like, that's not right.
It looked like
Yeah.
Death Stranding or
Yeah,
something.
it's just like a huge ass bag. I wanted to make sure it was big enough for all your stuff. And I realized that big enough doesn't mean huge. It means big enough.
Yeah.
Appropriately sized.
Yeah. Well, it's that thing of the saying about like a task can fill as much time as you allot for it. Like
Right.
the bigger the bag is, the more shit you'll put in it, and then the more stuff you're carrying around that maybe you don't need.
Right.
Or that you could compartmentalize
And
into
as
a
you
smaller
just
bag.
slowly are weighing down your entire your
Yeah.
shoulder structure.
I mean, it's definitely, this isn't designed to be like I'm hiking the Appalachian Trail for
And
2 months type bag.
No.
So
Who is it intended?
Those exist.
Those exist, yeah.
And they have giant rails in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we envision this as kind of it can be for whatever you want it for, but it's definitely a lot more of a kind of casual, everyday usage.
Yeah.
And maybe you pack it with your clothes because you're going on like a overnight trip with your friends or like, with your partner.
Right.
You have, open this bag and show what's in that. That's
What's in this one? We haven't opened yet.
Yeah, we haven't opened yet, and I think we packed that with a specific function in mind.
Oh.
Well, that one there, yeah. That one.
Yeah. So to go with the 2 stealth bags full of dice, then you have to have your Magic the Gathering deck. If you feel like playing a game of Pooh with your friends.
Got a little
You've
notebook
got
in
a
there.
little book you can write in. And then, of course, a really nice set of dice in case, you know.
In case the
you
other
can't
dice
find
aren't
the
good
right-
enough.
Well, see,
There.
those are your dice. Those are the personal dice. The bags are for when the rest of the muggles don't bring enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
these
Do you
are
think we
the
got enough
DM's
dice
dice.
in here? Did you count how many you were able to fit in, Mike?
I didn't count them as I was putting them in. Some are
Maybe
very,
we
very
should,
tiny.
you know what? Let's make that a game. We're going to count this after the live stream.
Okay, let me see one of those. I'll show them what's going on here.
All right, 2 bags full of dice. Let us know how many you think are in them.
So,
And whoever is the closest, we'll send you a surprise in the mail.
they're full of dice. These are pretty much your Chessex, standard-ish for the most part. They're all going to be roughly the same size.
Yep.
So no tricks. This thing is full.
Yep.
Full.
Email us your guess to info@volantedesign.us.
How many dice did Mike stuff in the stealth bags?
Yep.
We've got some stuff here. Huh?
Yeah, we got some stuff here. So, but yeah, so you can pack it for, obviously we're nerds, so we want it to fit a Switch, your stuff for game night, things for hanging out with your friends.
Want to talk about nerds? Mola Molifant, yes, that is one of the convention giveaway decks. What, did you see that for 2 seconds?
But it also can fit some unusual things. Why don't you grab the black pivot bag, David?
What?
What's in
So,
there?
so don't open it yet.
Okay.
Describe to them it's heavy.
Yeah, I think it's
It's very full.
maybe about 3 pounds.
All right.
It's quite amorphous,
What
but also very firm.
Okay. Open it up and just start pulling it out. Just don't announce what it is until the very end. I really want to see the reveal.
Well, I know what it is now.
Yes, but just
So what is this? What is it?
Yeah.
that will help.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Aha!
This'll, yeah, and this you can tighten up.
So, all
So
right.
if you need to carry a grappling hook with you,
This is why. Oh, now
never
I get it.
fear. The pivot bag can do it.
Yes, we packed the all black one with all of David's ninja tools.
Yep. Yep. Just
Right, that's where the ninja stars were.
exactly. It's
All
supposed to
right,
be a little
it's all
pair.
coming together.
Yep, you're getting sneaky. You got all your stuff. You know, it's hands free.
Yeah.
Yes, next. You always need a grappling hook. In case the elevator's busted.
So should we tell them about the stretch goals?
Yeah.
I think so.
Stretch goals. Okay. So the
Then
first
we can
one
start getting into
is-
questions.
Yeah. If at 30,000, if we reach 30,000, we're gonna Dark Side will be available. And like I said, you can choose your color after the campaign ends.
That was a question.
So as long as you've backed it at any point in the campaign, even after the goals are unlocked, you can kind of choose what you want.
Yep.
If we reach 50,000, then we will unlock Shakudo.
Ooh.
And so then all the colors will be available. So you guys just have to help us make it to 50.
Yeah.
That's it. And then at 100,000, we don't have it here, but we will have a picture on the Kickstarter page. Everybody will get a free Volante zipper pull tab if they've backed it. And so it kind of has a similar design to what
To the zipper.
to the zippers. Yep. So you can
You
just
like that?
attach it to whatever your zipper is that you use the most, or put it on a coat or something. At 500,000, we will have an additional add-on that you can purchase, but it will only be available to the Kickstarter people. You want to explain it?
A laptop sleeve. This will use all the hardware from the rest of the design, so it'll match in.
Yeah, this is
like
just
I
a
said,
prototype.
we didn't have the original, or we didn't have this fabric on hand when we were making it. So it will have that. It has a exterior pocket, and this is, we're still working on the design a
Pretty
little bit, but standard laptop
Just a nice-
inside with a little bit of padding
Yep.
Nice.
and a zipper all the way around.
Just so you can coordinate it all.
And that will also be the water-resistant zipper with water-resistant materials.
Yep.
So you have all of that protection for your laptop.
And then, I know we're just thinking big, just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case, if we can hit 1 million, then we'll have a free cash bag to everyone who has done a tier that's $300 or more.
Ah.
An additional pack.
An
Right.
additional free cash bag. Yep. You can also have the option to like purchase additional cash bags and additional bits. Again, like at the end, the way it works with Kickstarter is at the end you confirm your shipping info and your colors, and there'll be things that you can purchase extras of if you want. But if you pledge at least $300 or more, so that would be if you bought like the full stack times 2 on the first day, you would get an extra cash bag. So then you'd have 3 cash bags.
Yeah.
Which I like them also as like using them to just pack things inside other things, like a little toiletry bag. Willow likes it to hold like her pens or her like hand cream and little things that kind of float around and can get lost really easily. So
Right.
it's always good to have extras.
A bunch of little sort of shuttlecraft.
Yes, shuttlecraft. The stuff that just gets lost in the bottom of your purse and lives there.
Yeah.
Now, I want to reiterate to some folks that have started yelling out numbers of dice. You need to email us
Yes.
your guess.
Email us your guess so we have a
We
record.
can't go back through your comments, and we won't.
This-
we won't
yeah.
keep
Once the
track
live
of this.
stream ends, the comments disappear.
It's very ephemeral, so you must email us at info@volantedesign.us, and I will let you know.
Yeah. That way your number won't be public.
Yep.
You can have a private guess.
It will obviously be if a bunch of people are close or a bunch of people get it, the first person to
Yeah.
get it gets
So
the
it's a,
goodies.
it's a mix of being quick and accurate.
Yep. Yes.
So now that we're done with that silliness,
Oh, we should give them one more thing to help
Whoa.
them figure it
Well,
out.
there's at least 4 of them.
These bags are 8 inches by 5?
what's the dimension? Yeah.
Oh
Approximately.
yeah, 8 by 4.5
8 by 4.5.
by 3/4 of an inch.
There you go.
So they'll
8
fit a lot.
by 4.5 by 3/4 of an inch. Somebody do the volume.
If anybody saw the picture that we posted on Discord yesterday, they have a head start because they saw the bag of dice.
Yeah, but they don't know how many you put
Yeah.
in. If you put
Yeah.
in all
It was
of
a
them,
lot of
some
them.
of them.
It was a lot of them. Cool.
What else? Oh, if you don't want the operator bag, if you want the smaller bags, you can do 2 different, or you can do like an additional tier pledge or something like that, because they're
So I guess you would have to then get the minimalist set and the agile set,
right.
just to have access to those. And
But
this,
that's all done
Yeah.
after the fact. That's pledge manager stuff.
yep, exactly. And assuming nothing goes wrong in the world, assuming there is no pandemic or some other horrible thing, we're gonna have our rewards shipping out in October.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, we have planned this out. We have we know what all our materials are. We're pretty clear on all of that stuff. We have factories in place.
Yep.
If you've never known us before and you don't know what our products are like or that, then maybe somebody else in the chat can affirm what I'm saying here, but we do know what we're doing when it comes to producing things.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a really good thing we could address because I know there's a lot of anxiety about Kickstarters. A lot of times people do Kickstarters because it's like a new business venture or a new idea. I mean, in this case, Volante, we've been officially like a business for 8 years as of next weekend.
Yep. We
but-
incorporated as a corporation.
Yep. But you were all doing it for a few years before then.
Right.
So while we don't normally make bags, we normally make beautiful clothing. We, already know what the production process is like for making things in the USA. We already have fabric suppliers. We're not new to that game.
Yeah, even if we're making, even if we make 5,000 of these bags, we know we know how to do it. Even if we like totally blow all our goals out of the water, we still know how to do it. We have everything in place to do that. So we're there. We got it.
Yeah. And really, I know a lot of people also will ask, like, well, why isn't it available for purchase now? We normally make things in really small batches.
Yeah.
That's pretty much our philosophy. It's American made, small batch, limited. And this is something that we actually want to be able to offer to more people and kind of go big on.
And we can't actually do bags in small batches. Part of the way that we can even hit the price point that we have hit with them is because we are promising high volume. They're very small pieces. There's a lot of work that goes into them, despite the fact that it's such a small thing.
Yeah, I mean, this
Very
is
detailed.
how many pieces?
I don't know. That's your.
1, 2, 3,
Like 20?
4, 5,
Yeah.
6. Yeah, I remember cutting those out. There were quite a few.
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
So-
this is this small, and this is 20 pieces. That's still pretty
Right. So
complicated.
it's a ton of work that goes into them. So but we can't. Yeah. Anyway, so basically, it comes down to we have to make a lot of them in order to make any of them.
So yeah, folks have been chiming in and supporting that. We really thank you guys for the seconding on all that stuff. And basically, again, next Monica's, you've coined that phrase "fashion for the soul." You're going to start seeing that in our ads.
Yeah.
I will not give
I
you,
will snag that.
and I'll give you credit here, but that's it. So it's 4:00.
Oh wow.
Awesome.
We've been here for an hour.
Okay, great.
Already.
Let's open up for some questions.
So I think it's time to start opening up for questions. Did you have questions you knew you already wanted to answer? Because we've got some
I
already.
don't think so. I think
All right.
we just kind of. I think you might have a couple questions.
So-
we kind of addressed some of them.
While Mike gets
In the
himself
talking.
organized, I'll just say that in our sort of exploratory posts that we've been putting up over the last few months, one of the most popular questions is, "What is up with that beard?"
Do you want to answer?
I think he wants
so-
to.
I want to answer. I don't feel like I have to defend my beard.
Is this the venue for this?
Yeah, just
No, give me a side
quick,
note.
a quick aside. I've been doing various beard designs since I've been growing facial hair. So
Which was very early because
which
you're
was quite
Italian.
early.
Yes.
It is a part of my identity. It is what I like doing. I like coming up with new designs. I like changing them. I like doing sort of weird ones.
Right now, David and
I've-
Willow's dog is eating leaves off the floor.
I enjoy it, so I will continue to do it. And I'm not worried about people who don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, folks are saying it's a stunning piece of facial work. Me personally, I think what it is we've opened the floodgate to people who have never met us before and
Right.
don't get it.
Yeah.
No, they don't know
So
me.
that when the tendency is to make fun of something when you don't understand it. So they're just afraid of us. They don't know yet. They haven't figured it
We're
out
very
yet.
intimidating.
Hopefully
very-
they'll catch on.
Yeah, they'll get there eventually. So let's just start off. So some questions that came in while you guys were talking. In regards to the laptop pocket,
Yep.
what's the dimension of that? Because they're curious about the largest laptop, like my gargantuan iPad
Do you have that
thing
written
from.
down?
No.
Okay,
It's what?
I'm remembering from yesterday.
The
11 and a half wide by
I think it's like 13 something
it's more than 15.
if you like include the top bit.
Yeah.
I remember
Bag.
you telling me that a 17-inch laptop will fit because there's space at the top
Yes.
as well, because the pocket it's not sealed at the top.
So
So
you can
yeah, if you tip
see-
it forward.
The laptop pocket top ends here, but technically you have up until this kind of fold
Yeah,
line.
you have this whole fold.
So your laptop could extend
And that
about
one,
that much. And this is
that's like a 10-year-old Mac. So
I don't know what
That's
this
a
is.
15 inch.
That's a 15? Yeah.
Yeah. But
So-
it's got plenty of room on both sides.
yeah.
And this is also pretty beefy.
Yeah.
And this it could be a fatter laptop and it would still fit
Yeah.
in this pocket.
And we
So-
are also, in the newest version, adding a strap here, a 1.5 inch wide piece of webbing with Velcro, so that you don't have to worry about it falling out if you tip your bag over.
Yep.
Sweet.
So,
Yeah, where David already has been working on kind of version 2.0. I mean, it's not really 2.0 because you did so many versions to get here, but we sent them to a few people to test
yeah,
and get feedback. And then we also all on the team gave feedback. Like, I had a bunch of weird ones just from. I've been stuffing these bags with shirts and beans to take photos of them for months.
All right, so we got that one out of the way. It'll hold a big old laptop. Some questions about can they pre-save orders on Kickstarter? Is there a preview, or will there be a Kickstarter preview, or some place for them to keep their place, something like that? do they-
So the way it works is probably by early next week we'll have generated the kind of Kickstarter pre-launch page, which just will let you can also be notified on Kickstarter when it goes live, and it will basically like say the name of our project and that we're doing it. But otherwise, there's no way to kind of like reserve a cart or reserve a reward or anything. And you don't get to see the full page and see all the rewards until it officially goes live on the 27th.
Yeah.
So it's up to them to remember.
Yeah, there is information
We'll
if you
remind
want to
you.
look at all the bags and all the stuff. If you want to get yourself ready and understand what you want about it.
Yep, we have a playlist on our YouTube channel with a bunch. We also have a lot of posts on our Facebook, but of course it's also mixed in with posts about our jackets because we still do our regular stuff on there too. We also have a Facebook group, a VIP group that you can ask us about joining. That's just about the bags.
So we have thank you for that. We have a couple different questions kind of about the ordering, and you've said this before, but I think it's important to reiterate. How are they going to be able to order it and give us money if they've never done like a Kickstarter? How does that even work? One person wanted to know about mixing and matching the colorway for the full stack. They get the full stack. I'm assuming it's all one color. You can't mix the pieces.
Correct.
And then
Logistically too complicated
and then-
for us to mix and match them.
yeah, so we won't. So you can't mix and match pieces. And then confirming the colorway.
Yep.
So let's walk them through that
Sure.
process again.
So you will need an account on Kickstarter to back the project, but you can set that up when you're ready to back it. You don't have to do it in advance unless you want to. But essentially the way Kickstarter works is you say, I want to back this project at any time by the then your money is captured from Kickstarter. So you're not charged until the end of the campaign. The idea being if the campaign would fail, you're not out any money and waiting for a refund. So you essentially just choose kind of what reward level you want, and then after the campaign ends, I think it's within like 1 to 2 weeks after it ends, Kickstarter and then whatever backer assistance we use will send out a survey, and you basically have to confirm your shipping information so we know where we're shipping it to you. You will kind of confirm what you've chosen and the color, and then there will be the option to purchase add-ons. And this is just like we had said, if you want to like opt for the laptop bag, if that gets unlocked, if you want to get an additional cash bag, we might have like 1 or 2 Volante goodies that are in matching colors and fabrics to
Little
the
stuff.
full stack. Yeah, just some little things you can add on if you want.
Okay.
So they're not locked in on colors until it actually is finished.
Correct. That's why we have colors as an unlockable, because you don't
So-
have to know on day one what color.
So if you want that yellow one, you have to commit and then get all your friends to help you get the yellow.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
And Mike and David were correct. If you get the full stack, it's going to be all in one color. The only way to get multiple colors is to either buy multiple stacks,
Yeah.
or buy multiple rewards and choose kind of a different color for each tier, or to buy add-ons at the end.
Right.
I'm not sure how serious their question was, but we take all questions very seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally like the idea of mixing and matching.
Yeah, there were some comments about maybe being like a clown or something. So maybe they were just they were just funning around.
I want to say also, I think the way that Kickstarter functions is that once you've pledged for a specific reward, that's the amount. And then if you want to get another reward or add on anything or do two different tiers, you have to do that separately in the pledge manager after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll all be clear on the page when it happens.
Yeah. And Kickstarter, because Kickstarter, is already an existing site, they have a really great FAQ, so you can always check out more about their process just to get all the nitty-gritty details ahead of time.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a few questions kind of revolving around the extension strap pieces that we are offering, the straps that will lengthen.
Okay.
So what is that? And so there's a couple questions that are all kind of the same. Could you use that as a belt? How big is it? What's it going to do? Will it go around a chest of 60 inches? Those kinds of things. So what are the dimensions and that sort of thing? And what is it?
All right. So the strap exists. This, I think, is its final form.
You might notice that this is a much cooler webbing.
Yeah, bring that in.
Right
That's
on
really
the
cool. Sorry, I want to show off this
sample
cool.
so far.
This isn't like your normal like seatbelt webbing. It's got a really, really, really cool texture to it.
Feels really rugged.
It's really
Yeah.
and it's soft, but it feels really durable.
Yeah. The reason that we look for this rugged texture that has this is because my number one like pet peeve with a bag is when you adjust something to the exact length that you want it to be, and then you put it down and it loosens up
'Cause
and
it's
changes
slippery.
because it's slippery and it changes size, and then you have to readjust it every time. So the strap is like this. It has an adjuster here, and it has a buckle here, and one attachment point here for cash bags or whatever.
Don't worry about it. People are wondering what's going on.
So this is removable. It allows you to thread through the cash bag. Ta-da. And then attach it back on here.
Thank you, Vanna. Thank you, Vanna. So helpful.
That's what I'm here for.
Yes, yes. Moral support.
You can also, if you have 2 cash bags,
now he's getting into it. These are like the configurations that we haven't even told you about yet because we were like,
Yeah.
playing around with some
Because
weird
there's
ideas.
at least a dozen, but there's more.
yeah,
You can have 2 cash bags.
yep. Get him over.
Uh-huh.
So yes, this is the strap, and the strap can be worn as a belt. That's kind of like the default position that it's intended to be in.
Right. And on most jeans, even though this is a 1.5-inch belt as opposed to normal belts, which are 1.25, this is a relatively low profile buckle. It should be able to fit through your belt loop fairly easily. So if you wanted to actually wear it as a belt, you can.
Or if you just want that kind of like extra level of security or whatever.
Yeah.
So at its shortest length, the belt is about 30 inches.
Yes. It does have a minimum length. Because we didn't want the adjusted tail to be a hanging tail like it was on this version.
Yeah, there's no more hanging tail. We got rid of that.
We got rid of that hanging tail. That means that it has a minimum length of 30 inches.
Which we figure for most adults, especially if you're wearing it at like your hips.
At around your hips should be more than small enough.
Yeah.
Should fit most people.
Fit human body.
Fit body good.
The maximum length is 47 inches. Oh, here, I'll sit down.
Your
Yeah.
face is off. Yeah.
Whoops. The maximum length is 47 inches on the strap as in its base form. And that is why we have a strap extender, which can add up to 2 feet or as little as 1 foot.
So you would be 67 inches
47
Oh, wait, no.
plus 2 feet
plus 24.
is 72 inches.
So, yeah.
72.
So it's,
So
like,
yeah,
so it's like 72 inches max.
Yeah,
that's 6 feet.
Yep.
That's a long strap.
yeah, that should be okay. And I think we may have to, if somebody needs more length than that for whatever reason, we can just do, because of the way the extender functions,
You
You
could
attach it
technically have
here.
2 extenders.
you could technically do 2 extenders.
Ah,
Yeah.
Because
okay.
it is just,
Yep.
the same buckle again.
So you can either
That's not
adjust.
the longest form, but it
You
is.
could either adjust the length of the strap to move it from kind of a belt to crossbody, or you could do what David did and just like clip on the extender if you don't feel like adjusting the length.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So we covered a lot of stuff actually. The frame operator system, same as the stealth kit. No, it's not. Somebody want to know if they could have one for free. No. I'll answer that real quick. No, they were joking, and their concern was they had been burned by Kickstarters before. So maybe we can speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty confident that we'll hit our goal and make this.
Yes. So if we hit our goal, we will make it. We know how to make this. Kickstarter, as a platform, is available for anybody to go up with their idea and get it funded. Those people may have no idea how to do production or how to even accomplish the idea that they put up on the page. And they're hoping that with enough money, they'll be able to figure it out. That's not how we're doing this Kickstarter. We know how to produce things. We touched on this a little bit before.
Yeah.
We know how to produce things. We have the machinery to do this all in-house. We've done all these samples in-house. We know how to put it all together. That means we have factories that we've worked with for 8 years that can accomplish what we are putting together here. So
Yeah,
that is not really a concern for us.
we're pretty much just trying to reach as many new people as possible and figured Kickstarter would be a good place to do it.
Yes.
We already know how we're gonna make
We
everything.
want to make sure that we hit the goals that we need to hit in order to do the volume that we want to do.
Yep.
So that's why we're doing Kickstarter. It is not because we don't think it will succeed.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's or that we need help somehow
Or that we need
producing
help.
it.
We just want as much of it to be made as possible.
Yeah, and we have this on the page, and for those people that do or don't know, we are a self-made company. We don't have investors, so Kickstarter is a way for us to continue to do things our way as a quirky small business, and not really have to be at the whims of what somebody else thinks we should make or what we should do.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, I'm looking through these questions, and we've answered a lot of them.
It's questions about the weather resistance, which we've covered. And
Yeah,
Yep.
it is weather resistant.
Tim wants to know how it was to work with Jacob Burgess. Jacob's a voice actor. I think Tim is being funny.
Yeah, Mike is the voiceover in a lot of our videos.
Yes, my dulcet tones coming over the airwaves. That's right. So
Yeah.
thanks for the compliment, Tim. I'll take that. I'm going to take it as such. Well, we talked about use case scenarios. I think we could go over it again, but I think we're about the time to just kind of put a pin in this and do a final
Any
thing.
new questions on the Discord
Nothing has really come
live?
through that we didn't know. I think we got to it. It was questions
Great.
about the colors and if they were stuck with colors, which they're not. You know, you can change things up to the.
We've been posting about this for a few weeks, and I think people have asked us small questions throughout that we were like, oh yeah, the answer is obvious to us because we've been looking at it for months.
Months.
But I think we've gotten good at answering those questions before they get asked now because we expect them. Yeah, there's a lot to this that was sort of assumed when we were coming up with the ideas, and so I think that a lot of those questions hopefully have been answered here. I once, not that it matters really, but I had one small thing.
You got time. Let's vamp
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, so small changes that we've made over the course of the design, from the prototypes that are shown on our website right now to what is going to be final. I'm playing around with where this attachment point is on the frame here because I want it to be as comfortable as possible.
Mhm.
And so I'm working on a couple of different prototypes where I move it back an inch and I move it forward an inch. So I'm working on those little tweaks because forward might pull the strap over your shoulder better and set it on your shoulders better, and back might keep it closer to your back. I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but I'm working on that just to make sure that it functions. The other thing is, originally I thought that when you use the frame as a backpack holder, you would want to remove this back strap completely, because all you really need is this top attachment point and the front attachment. And so if you were to take this back strap off, you could remove it all together and just have this little part separated. And I found that at no point has that actually been something we wanted to do. In all the photographing we've done and all the testing
Yeah, we
we've
just
done,
kept them on.
we just leave them on. So it's a waste. It turned out it's a waste of money because this is not a cheap piece of hardware. So we didn't need it. That's great. And instead I have this, which on its own looks like that. I didn't know this existed. And in fact, when I thought of it, I was fairly certain that it didn't exist.
Oh.
But I found it, and I'm really excited about it because it's basically the adjuster that you're used to seeing on a backpack, where it has this sort of ladder lock method, so that if you are holding it, it does that. But then it has this ring, so that we can attach this to this point, and when you are wearing it with only the stealth bags, it'll pull that way towards the side of your body. And when you're wearing it on a backpack, you can attach it to the bottom of the backpack, and it'll just hang straight down. And so it'll never, so that it's always sort of, it
Ideal
allows you to
position.
pivot. It's always
Yeah.
the ideal position, and it's not bending funny, so that I'm pretty excited
Yeah.
about that one.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
So the changes that I know you've made or you thought of so far,
Mhm.
are any of them going to drastically change the functionality or the look of the system, or are they all just kind of improvements and taking what you've already done to make it like one step better?
I don't think I've changed the look of the system in any way from what we are showing on the website.
Great.
Which I know Emma was really worried about. Because she's been taking pictures of all of them and making those pictures as beautiful as you've seen them, and having to do them all again with a slightly different version. No, so
Well, so they know that like basically
Basically what
they
you see is what
they're
it
gonna
is.
get. We're just gonna tweak little things like pocket depth or an extra like closure tab on a pocket to make it like even more secure.
yeah. The original operator bag has a water bottle pocket on one side. We've now added another one to the other side because some of our reviewers said, why isn't it on both sides?
Yep.
Um,
And then didn't you say you also
And
were
that's a-
adding a
that's a
top
fair
strap
question.
so you could put like a poster
yeah,
or
so
something in it?
there's a piece of elastic that runs here a few inches above the top of the water bottle pocket, so that if you wanted to put a poster tube If you're going to a convention, a poster tube is a really valuable thing.
Ooh, or like a bottle of wine.
Or a
Yes.
bottle of wine.
I'm trying to think of what would be a tall bottle. that you
Well, if you're an
can
architect,
Yeah.
your blueprints.
Or a lightweight tripod. If you're carrying your camera around, you can probably tighten that up and
Yep.
put it in there, and then it won't fall out.
fall out. Yeah, lean forward. So
So that'll just hold it, allow you to strap things to it, and that's just little things like that. I think this little handle here, I'm going to use 1.5 inch webbing instead of 1 inch webbing, so it has
sturdier.
a little bit better grip.
A little more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. We've been making those little tweaks as we've gone, and I've made so many of these bags since starting in November. Really is when I started making them. I've been thinking about it and sort of designing it for months before that, but the first prototypes started coming out in November. It's been a long project for us.
Yeah, it has. I mean, yeah, even the biggest jackets, I think. Sometimes you'll like work on it and then let the design cool off for a while before we decide to release it. But
Mhm.
it certainly isn't the same kind of like constant level of work
Right.
over months for all of us, like from you and the rest of the production team on a like sourcing and sewing sample side, and then obviously here on the marketing side, doing all the prep work of the content for the page and the emails and like all the teaser posts you guys are seeing.
Yeah. I had to be done with all of these prototypes by like January 15th, and that was really late. People were not happy. In order to have enough time to create this campaign and do all the work that we're doing for the marketing and all these photographs, because there's so many pieces, being able to figure out how to take pictures of them and show what it's actually doing.
Beans! They're all stuffed with beans!
Dry
And-
beans are a fabulous way of filling out a bag without
and-
putting too much weight.
And all of the photos shot on the white background. They also all have boxes of our business cards behind the bags, propping them up so they sit upright, because that's the way I do things. It's all DIY, baby.
It's all here.
Well, we've hit our time.
All
It's
right.
about 4:24 right now. We've got stuff to do. We're gonna cut this at 4:30. We're still busy, so
Yeah, we gotta get
let's
back
bring
to
us
it.
home, Emma.
Yep, yeah. So
What were we doing today?
I'm Emma. I'm the marketing manager for Volante Design, if you've just tuned in.
And I'm David. I'm the designer. I came up with all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, so this mess in front of us of tactical fabrics and webbing and things is our operator system, which is launching on Kickstarter on April 27th. And we would love it if you would watch the videos that we have on our YouTube, scroll back and watch the rest of this when we post it on Instagram, and just see what it's all about. It's a 6-piece modular interchangeable bag system that can be worn in over 11 different ways. And we think it's just the coolest thing ever for carrying all your gear with you.
Yeah.
And it seems like you guys are really into it too.
Yeah. Right on. Oh yeah, now Tim wants us to do a test on, or a quiz on how many beans. They want a contest on how many beans.
How many beans?
And I guess actually there is one more thing. What are the plans for the future? There were some people that were curious about if this would ever become a product, or would it ever be available like at a con or something like that? Do we have a hope for that?
So, it depends on a lot of factors. Depending on, I think, on how well it goes and like how many pieces we order and all that stuff, we might have it for sale, but it would be at full retail price.
Right.
And the full system retails for $395 for reference.
Yeah.
So the only time you're gonna get that $199 price on the full stack is in the first 24 hours of the Kickstarter. So that's really just also like, it's our appreciation, our thank you for you backing something and then having to wait for it. Because
Yeah.
we really appreciate your patience. And especially the people that don't know us and don't know our stuff, it's also our thank you for being willing to take a chance on us.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I had an idea and it's gone. It's all right. That's fine.
You'll
Move
remember
on.
it later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have any other questions, you can join our Discord and ask us there. We're all pretty active on there, and we have a great crew of moderators as well. You can also send us an email and ask us your questions about the Kickstarter there.
Yeah.
And you can send us an email and guess how many
Yes.
dice I stuffed in that stuff.
Yes, guess how many dice are in this set of stealth bags, and send us your answer over email. The closest winner or the exact winner will get a nice surprise from us.
Might even be some dice. All right, folks. Well, thank you guys so much. We'll
Thanks
see you
for
out
joining us.
there.
Thanks for checking in. Take care.
Bye.